Hi, this is Radhika Apte and you're watching me on ETimes. I'm a Bollywood actor. So I never had that. I really look at it as a job and it's no different from anybody else's job. And I do think that we put Bollywood actors on a pedestal, which we shouldn't do. We have this brainwashed thing that, we're quite brainwashed when we say that slogging our asses for other people is the Mahan thing to do. I did a lot of that before COVID, I think. I had PR, I had strong PR, and I was trying to post, but it was just exhausting.
Like undercover.
More like trying to be a detective or a spy. Hey everyone, this is me, Heisha Chima, and today here on ETimes, I'm talking to Radhika Apte yet again and Anushree Mehta. For the first time, we're chit-chatting today. Welcome to ETimes, and we're all talking about your upcoming film, Undercover, Mrs. Undercover.
Thank you.
Radhika, I want to ask you this. This is my personal observation. The first time I spoke to you was pretty much at length when you were promoting Vikram Vedha. And I remember feeling that you're someone who's so raw and real. You were at it, you were at ease, you were honest in my interview. But personally, I have loved you, when I see like your glam posters online, like when I'm seeing you do a magazine cover or an appearance. What is it like you personally connect with the most? Which part of Radhika is more real?
No person has one single part of their personality or likes and dislikes. I think we're all multiple things. Sometimes you want to be in our pajamas, or sometimes you want to be on a red carpet. So I think, I'm more comfortable not being decked up and dolled up, but I also love that. And I think we have such amazing stylists and such amazing makeup artists and just designers and photographers. I love being that person, and I think that looks glamorous because of their efforts more than mine. So, yeah.
If I have to get a little bit undercover and ask you this, that, in your personal life, you're a wife yourself and, I'm sure you have your own home duties to take care of while you're working. What did you pick from this particular film that you took back and applied in your personal life as well?
So sorry, but nothing really, because not in terms of housewife. That because I'm with somebody. We're very equal. We share everything very equally. Both we're working adults. So I've never really had to go through this in my personal life. I wouldn't have ever settled for being in a companionship with somebody who wasn't equal. But this film and what it talks about is very close to me. Because no matter how much my parents or their generation, my uncle, aunts, my teachers are progressive, and they are really very progressive, still there is a division of work when it comes to house duties.
Yeah.
And it's sort of assumed, men assume that women will do it, and women think that it's, somehow they've convinced themselves that they like to do it for the family or for the man, because doing things for the family is basically meaning. That gives meaning to life.
Yeah.
And there's truth in it, but there's also a lot of conditioning to it, So the subject is very close to me, and I think it will be close to anybody, everybody, really, honestly, like whether it's this country or any other.
Anushree, coming to you as a debutant writer and director, what was it that you kind of did in terms of striking the balance between connecting to the audiences and also sort of figuring out how you nail that commercial success?
Actually, it's very interesting because, see, my film has these two shades, right? One is real and one is surreal. The real part, which is the most relatable part, is that of a homemaker. My protagonist is a homemaker. We all mostly have had moms who've been homemakers, are homemakers. So that's a very relatable part. But none of us know any spies, right? Especially not someone who's a housewife and a spy at the same time. So I was to marry both the worlds and make both equally believable. So in terms of writing, there have been parts, to all of this. So in terms of writing, अगर आपने ट्रेलर में एक डायलॉग देखा होगा तो राधिका मंदिर में बोलती है कि मेरे बेटे की यूनिट टेस्ट है, मैं नहीं करती, ये मिशन. So we've all seen our moms being a lot more hyper than us when our examinations, were there. भले वो 15 मार्क की एग्जाम क्यों ना हो, सब घर में चुप रहो, एग्जाम. So that's a mother's reaction, and once a woman's a mother, she forgets everything else. My child is my priority. So that is what, makes the spy relatable, that there is a mission right in front of her, something that she's been, waiting for. But now she's a mom, so the first instinct is of a mother, and that is how I wanted to marry the two. I mean, you'll watch a lot more in the film, but that's how I wanted to make it relatable. The superseding part of this whole thing is that Radhika is playing it. Just because, she's the protagonist of the film. She's not just the best in India, she's one of the best in the world, because the way she can make anything believable, and trust me, I have directed her. I've spent those many days just staring at her into two of my monitors, not just one. I can tell you, and it's common knowledge, that she's phenomenal. So, जितना भी part ऐसा लग सकता है कि अरे ऐसा थोड़ी होता है, here.
Yeah, I have
this
to.
Is very, very kind.
No, but
That's true. Everybody will do that.
Because, knowing you a little bit, that I do know, you're not that. Like, as you rightly said as well, like, I'm not that person. But the fact, because you've not dealt with all of those issues. But coming back to what you're saying, the whole real aspect of it, when you're a housewife or when you're a mom or whatever be it, when we're all working, I think even now for us, when I go back, it's very difficult for us to say, I have to take a chutti because I have an exam of my child, or I have to take a chutti because, some family members come to visit me, and that's pretty much what you're even talking about that. How do you sort of see that in today's day and age, women are going to sort of navigate through that? Because one of the major things that happened is that now we can actually talk about and take a period break or a holiday. Do you think you're setting some narrative as well over here?
Well, I don't have kids.
No, I mean, so the
setting
movie,
a
of course.
narrative?
No, neither am I, but obviously, like in terms of the movie, do you feel that?
I think the movie talks about a lot of other things also. I think it talks about how women are treated, especially if they're housewives. And I don't think there's anything wrong with making your child your priority, or your home your priority. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a matter of choice. I just feel that the labor at home, the work at home needs to be distributed. And it's not a woman's job. That needs to be extremely made aware of. People need to be made aware of it. And I think now we have leaves, right? Exactly as you said, the maternity leaves and paid maternity leaves. And in some parts now, an actor who's a mother, at least in Europe and America, they can traveling with the child comes as a mandatory requirement, right?
Oh.
So if I'm a mother, I'm going to bring my child with me, and you'll have to pay for it. Or another thing I remember, there was a friend of mine who was doing a play, and then she got pregnant in the UK, and the part was of a non-pregnant women, but they couldn't take her out because it's okay if she's pregnant, and she did. So these things are happening now, but they're very gentle yet. I mean, it needs to sort of be more common practice. But I mean, if a housewife can be a spy, then you what more can you ask for? I think that's the ultimate. You know what I mean?
I want to ask you: did you happen to encounter somebody who was a housewife and a spy, and that's where you sort of took inspiration?
You never know.
I would love
you can't
to know.
say. You can't say.
I can't say. Then
You're
my
going
cover is
undercover
blown
on
and then
that.
I get killed. I'm not going to
Names, but did you happen to hear some stories or interact with anybody in that sense?
No, I think that's what a filmmaker is. It's a work of fiction. So far as I know, I mean, even if I knew, I wouldn't tell you. But in my knowledge, and now everybody's knowledge, it's just a work of fiction. But the idea is to propagate a message where we are doing a hashtag, not just a housewife, is because it's not a paid job, and because there is no appreciation or promotion or any accolades with it, does not mean you label it as just, because it's not just a housewife. The spy is just that a character that will propagate this message. But we are celebrating homemakers globally, because globally they are, I would like to say, demeaned in so many capacities. They're taken for granted. I mean, I have seen, and this is to celebrate my mother. I made this film because I have seen her selflessly giving her life to her family and her children. So I just feel that homemakers globally should be celebrated. And like Radhika said, it has to be a choice, first of all, and it definitely cannot be demeaned. And now, if someone turns out to be a spy, dare call her just a housewife. Then see what happens.
Yeah.
So that's
But I
the
don't think
idea.
homemakers are anyway spies also. Like my mother has been a big spy throughout between me and my sister. She was always spying on us, what we're up to, what we're doing, are we eating our lunch on time or not. Plus, another similarity that I feel is so high pressure, right? Even like our moms back home or like anybody who's a homemaker, it's always so high pressure. And I think same with the spy too.
Yeah, it's very selfless also
Yeah.
because you're constantly slogging for somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, and so I think it really deserves a lot more credit than we give it. And also, I think that we have this brainwashed thing that, I mean, we're quite brainwashed when we say that slogging our asses for other people is the Mahan thing to do.
Exactly.
And it doesn't need to be. Listening to yourself and like what you want to do, doing that, pursuing that, drawing boundaries is actually very healthy.
Yeah.
That is very, exactly. So
And that's our film. Actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because mostly what we are not fighting against men. We are fighting against patriarchy, and trust
Exactly.
me, women are more patriarchal and misogynistic than men are. And this film also talks to women to actually realize their own power first. If I don't believe in myself, trust me, nobody is going to. You know, so we are talking about that in the film very strongly. Firstly, women don't need empowerment. They are very empowered.
Yeah.
It is just that belief that they need in themselves and to stand by one another. That's it. That's all that we need. So this whole idea of this film propagates all of these messages through a very fun spy comedy.
So a lot of actors initially have spoken about, and this I want to ask you specifically about, there being gender disparity in the industry, whether it's in terms of pay, whether in terms of anything that you can, sort of pin and point. As a director, have you kind of gone through that?
Absolutely. This conversation has happened so many times over the years, continues to happen, and it sounds jaded sometimes.
Yeah, but it's
But
important,
trust me,
I feel.
it is real. It exists. And how? I want to be a filmmaker. I am a girl. So I am a girl precedes everything, and that's where the problem starts.
Yeah.
And I have gone through, and I'm still going through hurdles that are unimaginable. Only on Mrs. Undercover. I'm not talking about my journey before as a writer and a producer. Just in context of this film. So early, when I was pitching my film, and I always had my business partner, Abir Sen Gupta, who's also the producer of the film, with me to produce it, but we wanted a collaboration. Every single person has asked this question. Acha, aap to ladki ho, aap action film banaoge? There are 6 action sequences in the film. I want to make masala Hindi picture. She is my masala Hindi hero. तो मुझे बनानी है ऐसी पिक्चर. तो मैं लड़की हूँ, उससे क्या कनेक्शन है? Director is a job. Teacher is a job. Doctor is a job. It's got nothing to do with a gender.
Yeah.
But it's like Radhika said, there's conditioning over the years. How many women do we know behind camera who actually, पहले तो बहुत ही ज़्यादा hurdles create करते हैं लोग. The people have asked Abir, अच्छा ये पिक्चर बनाएंगी, पहले तो बिलीव ही नहीं होता. Then आप रहेंगे ना सेट पे, because he is an experienced filmmaker. आप रहेंगे ना सेट पे. And that time he had to take stance for me, become a bigger feminist and say that, listen, she's written the film. An actor of the stature of Radhika Apte has said yes, basis this script, and that she's seen talent in her. She's seen potential in her. So if all of that is in place, what do you need me to do apart from producing the film? She'll direct it. So these are the kind of small and big things. और mostly लोग ये नहीं बोलते कि आप लड़की हो इसके लिए ये हो रहा है. They will maneuver their way around, and not only because they want to insult you, but also because they're conditioned. They just don't know. On
No,
our
I think it's
set
also
it
because
happened.
they feel that women come with nakras, women come with, other responsibilities, as you may say, or there might be some tantrums. Hence, all of this happens, and I think we all face it also. So I pretty much feel also it's all of that. But it's great to know that, you also sort of are facing through it and kind of like navigating
Yes.
yourself over through that. Radhika, what I want to ask you is there are a lot of actors your generation have like a strong entourage. Their PR game is strong, social media game is strong. But personally, I feel, and correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think you do any of that. Yeah, you're pretty much like, okay, I'll put what I want to put on my social media as per my convenience, and I'll do as much as appearances I want to do. But then how does Radhika sort of strive to be relevant amidst all of this clutter which is going on?
I mean, I did a lot of that before COVID, I think. I had PR. I had strong PR, and I was trying to post, but it was just exhausting. And also attend everything, which is also quite exhausting. I like to do it sometimes, but if I'm working, I mean, there's no time. For the last 10 weeks, I was shooting constantly. So there were lots of award functions and I couldn't attend anything, which is fine. You know, I don't want to like wrap, shoot quickly and go because it is just really, really tiring. I think your work speaks for yourself. And if it doesn't, then that's okay. I mean, if it's not enough, then that's okay. I think also there was a point when I had, I think, more energy and I think more enthusiasm. And now I have more energy for other things. So it's just choices you make and your priorities change in life. Now my family, visiting my family is a priority. My health is my priority. My other things that inspire me so that I can do my job, you know, because as any artist, you need to consume other things. You have to read, you have to like watch, you have to visit places, you have to do other things just from where you derive your inspiration. Finally, I have time for that now and I'm doing that. So yeah, it has consequences, but that's okay.
So when Radhika is not between action and cut, what's your personal life like? What do you do? What do you like doing? What are these other things?
Yeah, Mumbai, there's nothing because time just gets occupied. And every day I'm shocked that I thought I had some spare time like once in 3 months maybe, but there isn't. London, I mean, I'm trying to write, so it's been very enriching experience, also very hard. So I write, I practice a lot of writing. I go for exhibitions, I meet friends, I cook, I read, I watch things, I travel. I love boxing, running, swimming. I do all of that. I do lots of things.
Do you feel the fact that you're so detached from this glitz and glam keeps you like so practical, grounded and straightforward, or it's something else altogether?
I think it's probably something else because even when I was here constantly, I think I shouldn't say that about myself, but I don't think I was flying high thinking that I'm a Bollywood actor. I need to be treated a certain way. So I never had that. I really look at it as a job and it's no different from anybody else's job. And I do think that we put Bollywood actors on a pedestal, which we shouldn't do. And they're just normal people, you know, we're just literally the same people. Like everybody's the same. Really.
I wish everyone thought that way, the way you think.
Yeah, but it's true. And I think it's good for my own mental health to know that and to think that, you know, because then I can focus on the actual job. But yeah. I think that also comes from like upbringing, I guess, or parents. Like I remember my first film that was really big was Badlapur. So my parents after like a week said, tonight we're going to watch Badlapur. I said, good. Next day my mother called, didn't say a word about Badlapur. Talked a lot for something else she did talk about. And then she said, oh yeah, we saw Badlapur. Good. You are also good. I said, thanks, Ai. You know, so it's great because then it's not like, अरे मेरी बेटी की film आ रही है. तो मतलब, you know, ऐसा नहीं है.
But my mother is all over the place right now.
That's not what I mean.
She's literally all over the place. मेरी बेटी की film आ रही है. She's like shouting from rooftops and I'm just like, Mama, please.
No. But I mean, that's also
it's my first film, na?
Yeah. Also see, I mean, my parents are a little less with appreciation, which is I appreciate it because I'm like that. Yeah. But I mean, they are doctors. They're
oh my God, sorry to cut you, but this girl, I mean, she's magic on screen. On the monitor, only I've just, you know, lost it completely, cried, laughed, fallen off my chair. All of that has happened. Just seeing her perform. My film, I have written, I'm directing, and all this is happening. If galti se I say, Radhika, amazing. Bas, don't say all this.
You should also doesn't take compliments well.
No, I'm not learning though. Now I say, thank you. So, yeah.
And she would hide. And I'm like, but I'm genuinely telling you and I'm very like emotional like that. So I turant react karti hu. So obviously now every shot is amazing. So outstanding, amazing, all this happening. People are clapping on set for her. And she's like looking for a place to hide. And I'm like, why?
The recent film I did also, he's like, you suck. Thank you. No, because I find it very hard to take anything, like, which is why when people come and say, are you Radhika Apte? I thought run away.
Oh my God. But then, is that also when somebody comes and gives you like a criticism or like something?
No, then I want to know.
So you're like, oh, tell me, that's
tell
fine.
Me, what do you think? Yeah.
And then you go in that whole thought, ki like, oh, ye aise karna chahiye. So you're just like,
no. It's good to have constructive criticism, And I try to incorporate that if it makes sense. And I think every reaction actually does make sense. You know, there's something they want to say. You need to learn how to take feedback, because some people are not necessarily very articulate in how they give you feedback. But there's something there always to take, I think.
Are you an overthinker?
I'm an overthinker.
Yeah.
Not really.
No, you like just let it pass.
No, I mean, gosh, I don't know what is over. But I'm not, I don't brood. Like, yeah.
More chill.
I mean, life is many, many more things.
Okay, lastly, before I wrap this, I want to ask you guys a fun question. Have you guys, respectively, ever gone undercover to like snoot on people or do something? So we all have now.
Yeah.
Tell me.
No. Like undercover.
More like trying to like be a detective or a spy or something like
with
that.
social media, that, you know, stalking accounts, I used to have them. Now I don't have. Can't be bothered to look at my account to get stalking somebody.
But I think women themselves inherently are really
I think they're
good
the best spies. Yeah.
Yes. So inherently it's there in all of us. We cannot like avoid it. So I think we are all undercovers in our own capacity.
I think we all have very strong instincts and gut.
Oh, absolutely.
That gut feeling that you kind of just feel like, oh, got it here. I think that makes it more.
And you know, magically, I'll tell you, it may sound crazy, but that gut feeling of mine told me when Abir asked me कि ये script तुम्हें किसके पास लेके जाना, and I requested him, please take me to Radhika Apte.
So that was your first choice.
And I just knew it in my gut that she might
hide
just
under this chair.
I'm serious. I'm serious. And that's what happened. So women have like really strong gut. And with her gut only, she said yes to my film. I had not made a film before. It was her gut feeling.
I
and
didn't even
her,
have a script when I said yes.
Yes. Actually, 5 minutes into the narration, this you might not
I really
remember.
like the idea.
She said, in her style, she said, hey Anushree, 1 minute, I'm doing this film. Aage kya hota hai?
Oh, wow.
Acha, now I am this wide-eyed girl who's narrating to Radhika Apte, who's like this phenomenal actor, and you just really, really want her on your film. So I finished my narration, and at the end of the narration, I'm still waiting कि बीच में बोल दिया होगा मेरे को अच्छा लगाने के लिए, जो भी हो सकता है. How am I supposed to believe that, right? She's asking me, hey, is your hair real?
That's exactly what I asked her when she came here.
And I'm
I look at this girl. Exactly.
and I was like,
Anushree.
please, can you please just tell me if you're doing my film? Because I was dying.
It's grown, yeah. This time also I asked
You know, so the minute I came here, I said, is this hair real? Anushree, she's like, yeah, I won't wear a wig. I said, probably extension. She's like, no, it's my real hair. Oh my God.
No, it's grown, not long.
So well, with that, I mean, the hair growing, I hope the film and the adulation also keeps
Thank
growing
you.
after the trailer. All the very best to the
Thanks
both of
a
you.
lot.
And thank you for your time.
Thanks.
Thank you.